All right, Young, come on in, man.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Terry. Thank you, Donna, for the invite. Hi, everyone. My name's Young. I'm a very grateful recovered alcoholic. Good to be here. Thank you so much, Beth. Always inspiring to listen to you and feel your spirit and your energy. Where am I going to go? Lit from within. What came through my mind when I was listening to Beth? Well, lots of things. I wanted to like bounce off her words, but those words lit from within, and I just pictured myself being born for some reason. Being when I take my first breath into this world, there's a light that goes in or out or in or out, or I'm not sure. I'm alive, but then over the years, I get pulled off the path. And over the years, my light darkens. And over the years, I start sitting in this darkness and I can't see the light, even though it's still inside me because I'm alive. If I'm alive, the light is there inside me. This morning, I've just come from an event with my son. It's his 4 year sober birthday today, my own son, and that just blows my mind. What is God doing for me that I can't do for myself? Well, there's one huge thing. And as I was going to pick him up in the city of Sheffield, I was on a phone call and I was almost on, no, I was on autopilot driving. And I found myself, I'd driven myself to the psychiatric unit that I walked out of sober, going to my last detox unit. And I just sat there and I thought, how have I got here? How have I got here? And when I was in that psychiatric unit, there was a couple of significant moments happened. And it was the moment when I was brought to that place of absolute surrender. I could see and feel this powerlessness that was my truth for so many decades, but I just could not see it and I could not accept it before. And I believe it was in that moment there was that slight shift in perception. There was a slight shift in me that led me to you. My hearing started to become a little bit more clear so I could hear the words that you'd been trying to share with me for so many years, but I was just too blocked. There was a willingness and a thirst inside me that I didn't understand and I didn't even recognize, but I know was happening as I look back. And I thought about the lady, and I've shared this many times when I was in that psychiatric unit. And I fell to my knees one day and I was crying in the corner, rocking like this. And this elderly lady came up to me and she knelt beside me and she put this gold angel in my hand. And she said, "Child, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay." I don't know about you, but I seldom understand the significance of significant moments in my life when they're rolling because I'm so asleep. I'm not awake. And the love that she gave in that moment gave me enough strength to take the next step into the next place. So significant. And isn't this what we do? Beth talked about it. I need to hang with you guys because else I go to sleep, else I don't see the miracle, else I forget the miracle that is me. And Beth talked about the word mistake came into my mind a lot, Beth, when you said the word mistake. And I'm sat right now in a mistake. I've made a mistake and I'm sat in some shame, in some fear, in some regret. And if you put it on paper, it's not that big a deal, but my mind has made it and is continuing to try and make it the biggest deal, like I'm the worst person on the planet. And it's like I come from a place of criminality, alcoholism, and my mind is now beating myself up. What is going on? But what I do know today, because I do trust in God, I know it's a gift. I know it's an opportunity for learning. But why can't gifts be more comfortable, man? Come on, God, have you got just give me more comfortable gifts? This is one of the most uncomfortable moments that I felt in my recovery so far. So I know it's a gift. I know it's some more growth. And perhaps it's because what was once acceptable to me is no longer acceptable. God's move and continues to move these goalposts in me, continues to shift me. And as I sit in this uncomfortability, the words that have come into my mind is I have moral and philosophical convictions. I can't live up to them, even though I would have liked to. And I'm not going to share what it was, but it's really not a big deal. But again, remember, I'm dealing with my mind, cunning, baffling, powerful. I'm dealing with my agnosticism, cunning, baffling, powerful, because I'm sat in God, but yet my mind tells me that I'm not. I'm sat in a world that shows me God at every opportunity. If I can pause, if I can be silent, if I can tune in, but yet my mind always seems to try and pull me back into the lower power of existence from whence I came. Well, is that even true? Where I used to exist. And so even to share that, and for me, this is the beauty of Alcoholics Anonymous, to share myself honestly and vulnerably and not try and stand here like, I love this, I'm taking Terry's words here, like I'm Mr. Spiritual Man, Mr. AA, because I'm perfectly imperfect and I make mistakes, and God, please help me. Take all of me, good and bad. I'm not all good and I'm not all bad. I'm a bit of both. But I know today, I'm watching, man. I'm watching for you, man. I'm watching. I'm watching. I'm praying. I'm meditating. And I'm turning my attention to those that I can help, because there's so many. And I've been given that gift today from that trash heap where I came from. And also I drove past the tower blocks, which I used to get up to, the things I used to get up to. And I think, not I think, I feel, I know that I'm a miracle. I understand that God is doing for me what I cannot do for myself. God is enabling me to sit with my defects and my discomfort and my pain, and understand that my troubles are of my own making. And I love that word from the big book, because when I come out of, when I come into this world, there isn't any troubles. When I come into this world, but I have experiences and I create this narrative. I create this world around me. It's cruel. It's not fair. I get beat as a kid. Why me? Why me? And I create the troubles in my mind. And so alcohol, power greater than me. Perfect solution. Why would I not repeat until I've crossed over that invisible line, and now I'm stuck in the lower power and I can't see a different way. I can't see the true from the false. The true being, what is the truth? Love. God. This moment is the truth, but I cannot see that on my own power. But man, it's taken me a little while to get here because I'm stubborn, because I want to run the show, because I want to know, and I want you to tell me it's going to be all right. And like Beth told you, I want 111 people on this meeting all to nod and clap and go woo woo and make me feel okay. But I know today I don't need that to be okay when I'm trusting and relying and sitting in silence. And I love the quote. It might come from Rumi. Me seeking God is like a fish in the ocean looking for the water. I'm already in it. But why is it? Why? Why is it? My mind tries to say it isn't. Well, I think, and I don't know, it's just part of this human experience. You know, spiritual beings having this human experience. I find life on life's terms troubling. But life in the flow, in God's love, I feel like I'm wrapped up in a warm blanket when I get those moments of serenity and those moments of peace. And as I share this with you guys, I'm not feeling that fear, that pain, that shame that I was. I'm not feeling that because I'm connected with you guys, because the spiritual life sees no limitation. Just because we are in this technology and not face to face, it sees no limitation. I feel you. I feel you. I felt Beth's words. I feel your smile. And what a wonderful thing to come from a place where I would have welcomed death. That's where I was when I came to you. And so I come into these meetings and I feel the words, you know, I feel something. What is it? It says in the book, do you want what we have? Are you willing to go to any lengths to get it? And Donna was the first teacher that said to me, what is the it? Because I thought it was sobriety. And she said, no, it's a life led by spirit. and God. It's a life of kindness and love and service and patience and tolerance. But without help, it's too much for me. Without help, I can't be loving and tolerant unless you act in the way that I think you should act. We talked about teachers at the beginning of this meeting, and I often, bow down to my teachers that have been presented to me along this path. And one teacher that I often talk about is an elderly lady called Sandra. And she used to take me on these walks when I was very early in. And when I was early in, I was that outright mental defective. I was bouncing around. I was angry. I was angry. I had a frown on my face. I lived in that very famous city of self-pity. Oh, my poor life and my childhood. I had the monopoly on pain. I owned pain. Pain. No one feels pain like I feel pain. And there's been moments this week when this is what my mind has gone back to. That petulant little child. What? I'm still spending time like I do. I spend a lot of time in prayer and meditation and helping others, but it's still there. So perhaps it's needed to be there. And how I've been watching it, almost like this energy force that is not yet ready to give up. I'm able to sit with it, but not sit in it. To not let it take me too far down the yellow brick road. Okay, I can see what you're doing. I don't like it. I can't seem to get rid of it. Well, of course I can't get rid of it. God, just get rid of it now. I'll get rid of it when I choose to get rid of it. This is a lesson. This is valuable, but I don't like it. Well, life is not fair or unfair. It just is, young. It just is. It's not good or bad. It just is. And so I remember the first time I met Sandra, and she was what everyone used to call the crazy God lady. Because where I used to go to 12-step meetings in Alcoholics Anonymous, no one talked about God apart from this lady. And everyone said to keep away from her because she's crazy. No, she wasn't crazy. Something drew me towards her, like it drew me towards Donna, like it draws me towards Terry, like it draws me towards Beth and a host of other fellows. It's not even a choice. It's like that lack of power we talk about is my dilemma. Lack of power is my dilemma when I'm drawn towards you guys. I don't choose to. The light within me is attracted towards the light within you. I don't even know. I remember clearly that first day I walked up to Sandra and everything in me was saying, no, don't. And I said, would you go for a coffee with me, Sandra? The words just came out because her light was so strong. And then I said, shall we go for a walk? And she used to take me walking a lot. I'm just this little kid. Well, I wasn't a kid, but I'm enthusiastic, but I'm crazy. I've been in a lot of psychiatric units and hospitals and detoxes, and I'm approaching this lady that talks about God. And I think I'm an atheist or agnostic. And I remember a lot of our conversations, and one that I remember very, very clearly. I said, Sandra, how do you pray? She said, she paused. She used to do that a lot. She used to pause a lot. It's probably my most powerful spiritual practice, the pause. I can do it in any moment. And she said, how do I pray, young? Every breath is a prayer. I didn't understand it then. I'm starting to get an understanding of it today. If I'm awake, then every breath I'm taking in is divine spirit of life and love. Every single breath. But yet how awake am I to the breath? How aware? Sometimes, often, most of the time, I'm not even aware that I'm breathing in God and spirit and energy. I'm not even aware that I'm part of this unfolding. I am part of it. I read this the other day, and this is a scientific fact. You probably know it, but I'm a bit slow. We're made of the same stuff as stardust, as stars. Because whatever my belief system is, and I have a deep faith and reliance today, we all come from one. We do. We all come, so that means we're all connected. That means we are all brothers and sisters on this path. How do I know that clearly? Because when I'm kind to you, I feel good. When I'm unkind, which I was in a way to someone, I don't feel good because I've been unkind to myself. And I've never lay awake at night because I've been too kind. I've never lay awake at night because been too patient. But last night I lay awake at night because I was unkind. And it disturbs me because I was practicing my defects in all my affairs, not practicing these spiritual principles. And it just shows me I'm just perfectly imperfect and I've just made a mistake and I need to move on. And God, please help me to see where's the lesson in this? Where's the invitation for growth? But it's painful. Did I tell you it's painful? Beth read out a little bit of the St. Francis prayer. I love that prayer. And there's a bit at the end of that prayer, I believe, and it says, it's through dying that we awaken to eternal life. So as I look back on my journey through Alcoholics Anonymous, I can see as I went through these 12 steps, as I started to live in these steps as a way of life, parts of me started to die. Little parts of me started to die. And I thought in meditation, or this popped into my mind, an intuitive thought the other day. Perhaps it's when I go to sleep every night, I die. Because when I'm asleep, I'm relieved of the bondage of self. When I'm asleep, I'm not driven by self-will. When I'm asleep, I'm totally letting go to what is. So perhaps I die every night to eternal life and then I wake up again. Maybe that's just a taste of where I'm going. Maybe that's a taste of going home. I don't know. But I love the mystery and I love the seeking and I love the transformation. Although it's a bit painful. Did I say? I think I did. I think for me, when I can see a really powerful area of this 12-step program that killed a little bit of me, maybe that's harsh to say that, where some of me started to die more and more was during the amends process, where I could see, I could feel that the person that had done all those harms wasn't my spiritual being, it was my humanness. And as I make these amends and as I get free from the wreckage of my past and I get closer to you, I feel closer to God. And I think about a radio, an old radio, not a digital one, the one where you got the dials. Anyone remember the dial radio? And you dial and it's like, and as I get closer to the correct frequency, I start hearing the music. I think that's what we do here. As I start getting nearer to the frequency, as I start aligning my will with God's will, I start hearing the music. I feel the melody. I know in that moment. And then my mind goes, no, let's dial it again somewhere else. And it goes, okay. Little glimpses, little feels, little hearing of this beautiful melody of life. Like this beautiful love story, this love story that I've become a part of Alcoholics Anonymous through these 12 steps, where I come into this program with no love for myself. I don't love you unless I can get something out of you. And it's not love. I don't really know what love is. I confuse it with lust. I've got no idea what this purity, a pure love is. And as I start on this mission of seeking, because I see it, I feel like I'm on a mission today. I feel like I've been set on a mission. And how I got onto that mission is due to my powerlessness. I started seeking this power due to my powerlessness, which took me into hell. which took me into the dark side, which took me into the upside down world. And I start believing in my hopelessness when I come to you and I can see there's something greater than me. There's a power greater than my mind, which is working through you. And so I get into these practices and I start this lifetime practice of inventory and prayer and meditation and being kind. A lifetime practice. Practice. I have to practice being kind. It doesn't come naturally to me. I have so many old beliefs and old biases that I bring to the table. Every situation that I'm having, I'm bringing a bias to the table, and I have to be able to watch out for that. I'm so suspicious of people. I'm so. My first thought when I meet someone is often, I don't like you. I'm so judgmental. I am. I am. And I see it was a protection mechanism that protected me as a kid when I used to get beat and tortured and hit. It protected me. And I'm bringing that to the table. I still have all these old ideas that are not serving me. But today I'm watching out for you. I'm watching out for them. I can see that they're not working. I can see without help it's too much for me. But what I can also see is rarely have we seen a person fail who thoroughly follows our path. So to make a mistake is not to fail. To make a mistake whilst on the path is to thoroughly follow the path. I'm meant to make the mistakes. I need to make the mistakes. See, I'm shouting now. I'm trying to convince myself and my ego. Ego, I'm meant to make the mistakes. It's part of this experience. I love the bit in Bill's story where Bill says, you know, Ebby's talking to him and he says, why don't you choose your own conception of God? What is my own conception of God? What is my own conception of God? I can't put it into words. I can't describe the undescribable, but I know what God's done for me. I know what God continues to do for me. I start getting glimpses and music and melody. That statement hit me hard. It melted the icy intellectual mountain in whose shadow I'd lived and shivered for many years. Oh, I stood in the sunlight at last. I stand in the sunlight at last. In this moment, I'm standing in the sunlight. I wasn't an hour ago, but I am now. Thank you, guys. Thank you for helping me. Thank you for helping me. This icy intellectual mountain, this ego of mine that just does not want to die. It doesn't want to give up the crown. It does want absolute control, but I'm onto it. I am onto it. And so I'm walking shoulder to shoulder with you guys. And sometimes I feel like I'm holding the hand of God. Sometimes I feel like God is holding me, this flawed, broken individual that presents himself to you today and holds up my hands and says, I make a lot of mistakes, man. And that seems to be happening to me the longer I'm here. And, you know, my sobriety date is Christmas Eve 2018 when I rolled out of that psychiatric unit. And I must say, from that moment to this, I've never thought about alcohol. Like, what? I drunk from the age of 11 to 43. I've never thought about alcohol. I listen to alcohol stories because we're on Alcoholics Anonymous, but not in the sense it used to always this mental obsession. So if God can do that, what else is in store for us on this path as we trudge shoulder to shoulder, day by day? I know that I don't know. That for me is exciting. I know I only know a little. I feel like I've just tasted the first sweet nectar of the Spirit. And I've got the phenomenon of craving, man, because I'm an alcoholic and I love the way God makes me feel. I love the way God makes me feel because it had to be more powerful than this. Well, not water, vodka, because vodka did everything for me. So I needed something more powerful than the very thing that was my master. I needed a bigger master and I have one today. I'll bear witness to that. God, I offer myself to thee to build with me. Build with me. Please be a build with me. I need help, man. When I rolled into the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous this time, because I was one of these broken souls that was in and out of the rooms for 10 years with no 12 steps, no program, no prayer, no God. Of course, I go in and out because of that. And I end up in treatment and detox and hospital. But when I came in this time, there was nothing left for me. And I had no idea what was going to happen to me. I'm being asked to do the most amazing things from you guys, being invited to the most amazing places. And not long ago, I wasn't eating for days. You know, I didn't have a job. My family didn't want to talk to me. And look what God keeps on doing. And I remember I've had wonderful sponsors, you know, wonderful. I love them dearly. They present their spiritual walk in such a way that it keeps me seeking. And I remember my first teacher. He said to me, because I was on welfare and I was living in sober living place again, he said, look, Young, as long as you always have a big book, $5 in your pocket, and you're always helping someone, you will always be looked after. And he was absolutely correct, because that's all I had, man. And from that moment to that's all I was doing. I had a big book, I'm help £5. And look, here I am today. Here I am today, alive, joyous, happy, broken, imperfect. Love being with you guys. What does Don always say to me? Well, many things. You're not Big Willy Bobo, Young. It's not about catching up. It's about catching on. And doesn't that sum it all up for me? Isn't the 12th step like a beautiful expression of love? The 12th step is a beautiful expression of love, and it keeps this fire, because like any fire, I was at an event earlier on that I was doing something at, and they had a barbecue, and this lady, she talked about lighting the fire. And I said to my son, I forgot. I used to be a bit of an arsonist when I was about 7 years old, because I was out of my mental defective. I used to love lighting fires, man. I don't today. But what I thought about is that being lit from within, if I am to light a fire, I have to keep the fire burning. You know, if I don't keep the fire burning, it goes out. How many alcoholics do we see? They have the awakening, then go back to sleep. And so I learn from you guys, and I get to do this. I love doing this. There's nothing better for me than spending time in prayer and meditation, especially for me in that early morning, those early hours when I feel so close to spirit. So I'm very excited about today. I'm very excited about this moment. I'm even excited about my brokenness. I don't know where that comes from, and I don't know what it means. But this path through these practices, through the reliance on this power, through knowing that I don't know, through knowing everything's just unfolding exactly how it's meant to. I might not like it, but you know, that's kind of life. Keeps this thirst that I had in that psychiatric unit that has never left me. This willingness to seek, to lay aside what I think I know, to hold my hands up and share myself honestly with you guys, and to show you love like you showed me love. Because when I love you, I love God. When I love you, I love God. And you know, I can't remember who said it. Maybe Dr. Bob, the great Dr. Bob, or it might be someone else. This is about love and service. How much time am I spending with God and God's kids? So I thank you guys for the gracious invitation. I thank you for showing up constantly, my teachers, for being a demonstration of what this power looks like in your life and how God shows up. And I couldn't believe someone like me could find this deep connection to God when I first come through the rooms of AA. But it was for you guys showing me that something amazing was possible, something beyond my words and beyond my comprehension, but I feel it in my soul today. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you.
All right, the chat is